So you've seen them, right? Those simple cartoon videos that pop up everywhere, and they have millions, sometimes hundreds of millions of views. And you think to yourself, man, you must need a whole animation studio for that. Well, not anymore. Today, we're going to show you exactly how to create your own viral cartoon videos with just two AI tools. And when I say viral, I am not kidding. Just look at these numbers.
Okay, let's just let that sink in for a second. 106 million views. That's not for a Disney movie, that's for a single AI-generated cartoon, probably made by one person in their spare time. That is just insane. This is the kind of reach that was totally unimaginable for independent creators just a few years ago.
And it's not just a one-hit wonder. Here's another one that pulled in 60 million views. What this proves is that there is a massive, and I mean massive, appetite out there for simple, good old-fashioned storytelling in an animated format. People just love it.
And it keeps going. Here's another one with 34 million. The pattern here is crystal clear. These AI tools are letting creators tap into a huge audience. So the big question is, how on earth are they doing it without a Hollywood-sized budget?
You know, the thing is, the demand for cartoons has always been there. What's changed are the barriers. It used to be this huge wall built out of cost, complicated software, and just the sheer amount of time it took. AI hasn't just lowered that wall, it's completely bulldozed it. Now, pretty much anyone with an idea can get in a game. So, what's the secret sauce? What do you actually need to get started? Well, you can forget about needing a fancy studio or expensive computers. Your entire setup, your whole animation studio, is basically just two powerful AI tools. That's it. The whole process really boils down to this simple two-part team. Think of it like this. ChatGPT is your scriptwriter. It's the brain of the operation that comes up with the story, the characters, what they say, all of it. And then you've got AutoDraft AI, which is like your entire production crew. It's your artist, your voice actor, and your animator, all rolled into one. Okay, let's get into it. Phase 1 is all about the story, because before you draw a single thing, you need a rock-solid script. This is the blueprint for your entire video. And believe it or not, AI can create this for you in just a matter of seconds. It all starts with what we call a prompt. It's really just a simple instruction you give to ChatGPT. For example, the person who came up with this workflow used this exact prompt. Give me a 30-second moral story about two friends, Ramu and Sham, one rich and one poor. Include the location, dialogue, and narration. And here's the key. The more details you give it, the better the story you're going to get back. And what ChatGPT gives you back as well, it's the whole shebang. It's not just a vague idea. You get the specific location, all the narration, a breakdown of each scene, descriptions of the characters, and of course, all the dialogue. You literally have everything you need to start production. All right, script in hand, it's time for phase 2. This is where we take all that text from our blueprint and start turning it into the actual stuff you'll see and hear in the video, the visuals and the audio. Now, the really cool part is that you can do all of this inside that second tool, AutoDraft.ai. It's basically a 3-step process. First, you tell it to create your background image based on the script. Second, you generate the audio for your narrator. And third, you create the unique voices for all your characters. Now, it's really important to think about these two types of audios separately. The narration is your guide, the one consistent voice telling the story. But the dialogue, that's where your characters come to life. You need different, unique voices for each one to make them feel like real, distinct people. And inside AutoDraft, you can pick different voices, genders, and even tones to get it just right. Okay, lean in for this one because this is a pro tip that will save you a massive headache. As you create each little piece of audio, name the file right away. Be systematic about it. Part 1, narration. Part 2, Ramu. Part 3, Sham. Trust me on this. When you get to the editing stage and you have a bunch of audio files, you'll be so glad you did this. Don't skip it. And now for the really fun part, phase 3. This is where all the magic happens. We've got our background, our characters, our audio clips, and now we're going to put them all together and bring this thing to life. The workflow for animating is actually super logical. First, you pop in your background. Then you add your characters. After that, you'll make them move around using a special path tool. Then you'll sync up their dialogue so their lips move when they talk. And finally, you can even add some camera movement to make it all feel more cinematic. So you're probably wondering, how do you make a character actually walk across the screen instead of just walking in place? That's where the path tool comes in.
And it's brilliant. You just put your character where you want them to start, then put a sort of ghost image of them where you want them to end up. The AI does the rest. It automatically animates them walking perfectly from A to B.
And making your characters talk is just as easy. You just click on the character, choose a talking animation, and then you drop their audio file right onto the timeline underneath them. When they're done speaking, you just split the animation and switch them back to a normal idle pose. It syncs the mouth movements to the sound perfectly.
And that's basically it. Just like that, you've gone from a simple sentence in your head to a fully animated scene. A process that used to take a team of people weeks, not to mention years of training, can now be done by absolutely anyone. The barrier is just gone. That's the biggest takeaway from all of this. The technology is no longer the gatekeeper. With a good idea and these couple of tools, there is a clear, direct path from what's in your imagination straight to the screen. So, the tools are here. They're easy to use, and they're more powerful than ever. The only thing missing from the equation is your creativity. So really, the question isn't, how do I make an animated video anymore? The real question is, what story are you going to tell?